Hi, welcome to the She Moves Mountains podcast. This is your host, Kamala Murphy. Thanks for joining us today as we talk about some of the juicy stuff we women experience that makes this life journey truly amazing. You know, the nitty-gritty, the love, the loss, the falling down and rising up, the getting lost and finding our way again. To our hearts, our happiness, and to the awareness that we can and do move mountains. Thank you for joining.
Hi, this is Kamala Murphy. Welcome to this episode of the She Moves Mountains podcast. In today's episode, I wanted to share a little bit about a theme that I've noticed in the last week or so with a number of my clients, and of course with myself. That theme is of having been raised to be a good girl, to follow the rules, to be nice and polite, to always look good. And what all of us in the last couple of weeks have noticed as we've spoken about this having been raised to be good girls is that it has hurt. One gal in particular spoke about really always trying to follow the rules and do things right. And so often it felt like her spirit was being crushed because she had something more that didn't fit within those lines. And the more she tried, the more frustrated she became. And she wound up actually not getting much done because trying to follow the rules when your spirit is urging you to fly just doesn't work. And we were reminded of Clarissa Pinkola Estes, I think that's the pronunciation, who wrote Women Who Run with Wolves. And one of the passages in that book goes like this: within every woman, there is a wild and natural creature, a powerful force, filled with good instincts, passionate creativity, and ageless knowing. Her name is Wild Woman, but she is an endangered species. Though the gifts of the wildish nature come to us at birth, society's attempt to civilize us into rigid roles has plundered this treasure and muffled deep, life-giving messages of our own souls. Without Wild Woman, we become overdomesticated, fearful, uncreative, trapped. And that's something that the group of us felt. We have felt that by being good so much of the time, really trying to be good and following those rules, we were trapped. And that reminded us of that story about the baby elephant. To train them, they take them when they're little and tie them to a stake or using a chain. And as the elephant tries to pull away, it's pulled back by this chain and the stake. And when they're little, they can't move the chain or pull the stake out. But as they grow, they become stronger. But because they've tried so often and failed at breaking free, they become accustomed to only being able to move so far. So they eventually stop trying to break free. And even if they're tethered by just the smallest of ropes or even strings, even though they're huge animals, they don't bother to try and break free. And that's what we were feeling, that we had stopped trying to be the wild or let the wild nature free, because we'd get into trouble. We'd be reprimanded. We weren't following the rules. And as we spoke about this, it dawned on me that in my family, there was a very powerful message about being a good girl. And it came from a story, or one of the family secrets, actually. My aunt, my father's sister, did allow her wild woman nature to come out, and she broke a lot of the family rules. And by being wild, she put herself into some rather dangerous situations, and she wound up being murdered by a lover. So that was one of those family secrets that kept me chained. Although I didn't know what it was, I didn't know the story. What I did know was that it was dangerous to be wild. So you better toe the line. You better follow the rules, because not doing that, by being wild, that was dangerous. So other women may not have that story. That's pretty dramatic. But a lot of us were taught, were given images of similar things where wild women got into trouble. So you had better toe the line. You'd better be a good girl. But a time comes when being good and following the rules crushes the spirit, and you need to break free. You need to get a little flambé, a little fiery, feeling like $1,000,000, because your heart and soul are allowed to be free and sing and dance. So this week, if you are one of those women who has been a good girl, who recognizes that you still have those areas where you are following the rules and trying to be the good girl, and you really care maybe a little too much about what other people think, and you're kind of chomping at the bit or pulling at that stake, I'm really encouraging you to maybe experiment with your wilder nature. Do some things that just make you laugh or sing or dance. Giving that wilder nature, that soul, giving your soul a chance to really be free and spread its wings. The things that'll give you that sense of flambé, the feeling like $1,000,000 energy, or feeling like $1,000,000 every day. What are the things that would just feel so darn good? And do them. Even if they're just the simplest little things. Or maybe they're big things. But allowing yourself to break free of the shackles of being too good a good girl. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you go out and live with flambé and feeling like $1,000,000 every day. Do some things that will feel fabulous, help you spread your wings and move your mountains, and fill your heart and soul with joy. So again, thank you for joining me. Until next time, love and peace and blessings and flambé. Take care. Bye for now.
You've been listening to the She Moves Mountains podcast, coming to you every week. If you're a woman who wants to move mountains in your own life, please make sure to subscribe or follow this podcast. And if you've laughed or gotten teary or smiled knowingly thinking, oh yeah, that's me too, please go ahead and rate the episode with 5 stars. It'll be a feel-good thing to do. Thanks a bunch. Lots of love and blessings to you. This is Kamala signing off. Until next week. Take care.